Okay, everyone, welcome back to the Black Gentleman's Culture Premium Cigar and Spirits channel. And today we are continuing with the Ballin' on the Budget Cuban Cigar Edition. And today we're out front with the Quintero Favoritos. This is a 4.5 by 50, or some people say 49 stick. Now, again, this is Ballin' on the Budget. I picked these up going on close to, 10 years ago. And when I bought a ton of them because, like I said, sometimes you got to have a good daily cigar and a cheap one. And this was it for me for a long time. So, that being said, I decided I was going to break this out for this video. And I also looked up today's prices. You could get 15 right now in the tubos, and that's going to run you $190. Now, that being said, excuse me, not $190, that is actually $210. So these are up to $12 a stick. And when I bought these, I got this, it was $7 a stick. So yeah, unfortunately, inflation and tariffs has put a $5 hike increase on this stick. But that being said, this is listed at a medium to mild cigar. On a cold draw, you're going to get a nice sweet rum raisin. On the body and the foot, you get that strong, heavy cedar, and you get a nice little kick of musty earth. That being said, I'll probably go ahead and do my next video on this at the halfway point because, like I said, this is only a 4.5-inch stick. So, and I also did pair this with a Modelo's beer. So that being said, these two right now, I'm going by the price I paid. I'm at $10. Now, if you do it with today's prices, you're going to be at $15. Like I said, that is a $5 increase on this stick, so it's going to show. All right, folks, I'll see you either right after the first third or the halfway point, depending on how I feel. Okay, everyone, we're back and we're done with the first third. And as you can see, basically, this is a razor sharp burn for this cigar. If anyone is familiar with the Quinteros, the Brevis, the Favoritos, all of them, they tend to have funky burns. Now, the main reason for the Favoritos having a funky burn is it's short filler cigar. So basically, you're going to get little pieces. And I'm going to recommend this to anyone. Well, excuse me, to everyone. If you have this cigar, hole punch it. Large hole punch. Main reason why? You get little shards of tobacco in your mouth when you're smoking this if you just hit it with a straight cut like I did. So yes, I've been spitting out tobacco while enjoying this cigar. Now, let me tell you. The cigar is delivering greatly. You're going to get a strong, musty earth, followed by a strong, sweet cedar through the retro-hale. Now, the smoke itself is creamy. It doesn't tend to linger long on the palate, but it is very creamy, and it lacks the sweetness, I would say, of a, what would it be? The Roma and Julieta Bellicosa, or like a Avo Cinco Nicaragua. Those cigars, when they say they got that sweet bread going, they mean it. But this, you would expect it to have some sweetness to the cream, but it doesn't. It's just basically just bland, truthfully. It's bland on the flavor, on the creaminess. But everything else is delivered. Now, the best part about this, like I said, this is that Ballin' on the Budget. So, unfortunately, right now, they're at $12 a stick. I got it at $7. And let me tell you, it's an ugly cigar, as you can see. It's quite veiny, lumpy, and right now, I've always thought they were manufactured by a machine, but they say they are hand rolled. So I'm going to take their word for it. But like I said, it is a very, very budget friendly cigar. And this is something that you can enjoy. And like I said, it's great. It's great on that aspect. If anything that I wish about this was the length. I wish it was more like a 5.5, and they raised it up to 10 or 12 bucks back then. Because this, like I said, for it to be budget friendly, it is actually a good smoke. Now, the star of this is the aromatics, the smoke coming off of the cigar. You're going to get the sweet cedar. You're going to get that musty earth. It is a very aromatic cigar to be a cheap cigar by Cuban standards. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'll see y'all at the halfway point. Okay, everyone, we're back at that halfway point. The burn has taken on that kiddie roller coaster. And truthfully, that's the burn I'm used to seeing with this cigar. That being said, the flavors have remained the same. The only difference is, I don't know, because I've aged it for so long, there is a little kick of spice. I don't know what the heck it is. It may have been too close to another cigar in my humidor and it picked up something off of it, but there's a little bit of kick to it. And the wild part, it started happening after the first third, so truthfully, it may just because how I aged it, a subtle little nuance that was in this cigar has come to the forefront. That being said, it did ash itself, so folks, please be careful. When you got short filler cigars, the ash will just drop off unexpectedly. Now, as you can see, it's quite smoky, and like I said, it's very aromatic. Now, the only thing, again, I will warn you, you will get funky burns from these cigars. It's not happening with this just because of how long I've had it. The tobacco settled down, aged quite well, but you will find some of them, definitely in the newer cigars, you may have to hit it with the perfect draw to get the flow going, because they are known to have knots of tobacco in them. And it's very common amongst Cuban cigars. So that being said, it didn't do it. And it, as you can see, it's smoking quite well. All right, now I will see you at the final third, and I'll be pulling this band off right after this. Okay, everyone, we're down to this final third. As you can see, that kiddie roller coaster burn is still going on. And as you can see, like I said, it's quite a little smoky cigar. Now, far as that new little kick, yes, it intensified. So I'm going to say it's some form of spice that I believe may be in this, and I may have missed it because it's been, a good year and a half since I smoked one of these, because I'm down to very few, and I wanted to pick them up in person from where I pick up my cigars when I go on vacation. Now, that being said, it's holding quite well. The only regret I have is, remember folks, hole punch, don't straight cut, because I'm still spitting out shards of tobacco. The flavors remain the same. You get that sweet cedar on the retro-hale. You get the earth, that musty earth. You get everything they say comes off of the cigar, which is one of the main reasons why I do like it. For it to be a budget-friendly and what they would like to say a cheap cigar, this cigar has a whole lot of flavor. Now, the only drawback on these, like I said, when you get them, if you get them fresh, like most of us tend to do, meaning they're rolled within the year you get them, you may have to hit it with the perfect draw. And the main reason I still have some of these is whenever I get them, I age them instantly for 1 year before I even smoke one. So basically, like I said, it's been a while since I've ordered some of these. So that being said, y'all know what I say. If you got a bunch of cigars, smoke them. If you got more than a bunch of cigars, share them and make cigar heads. All right, folks, I'm going to see y'all at the next video. It's still going to be balling on a budget with Cuban cigars. I have 2 to 3 more that I want to do. But these will not be done with beer or a pop. It'll be done with a whiskey or two. That being said, folks, see y'all then.